Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. We have the red chain and need to go fight the commander because he's doing a real stupid right now.
You don't say.
I forget what is his plan.
To attack the godly Pokemon.
Cool.
Which, to be fair, we could win. He can't, though.
This guy.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, like, both of us working together.
Perhaps you're right. Too bad I'm not going to because we need a boss battle anyway.
Is this going to be one of those prove your worth to me situations?
Yup.
Sort of, yeah.
Fair enough. I like how he got all armored up and everything. Like, I suppose it makes sense, given that the Pokemon might actually go for you. But we're just fighting a Pokemon battle here, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm over-leveled.
It is way too easy to get over-leveled in these most recent games, I gotta say.
Yeah. It's so weird because I know part of that is due to the experience share, but ultimately the experience share is a net positive for the game by a substantial margin.
Well,
so
I mean,
it's like
the experience share is one thing, okay, but the amount of experience that you gain per battle is another. And, they make it a little too easy to gain experience, and they make it a little too easy to amass experience-gaining items, Back in my day, we walked uphill both ways and only got 1 or 2 rare candies every 10 hours, and we liked it.
I mean, I didn't like it. Just pain in the ass, actually, but,
Back in my day, there was so little understanding as to how the system worked that people legitimately thought for a while that rare candies made your Pokemon weaker. They didn't. You just didn't gain any EVs when you were using rare candies, because obviously.
Yeah, this is why scientific experiments need some context. Because, yes, it is a true fact that if you level up a Pokemon, a Bulbasaur to a level 100 Ivysaur, with just rare candies, it will have worse stats. But you're also not getting all the context.
Yeah. It's just like that was the rumor that was spread around the schoolyard back in the day. I remember.
It's one of those technically you are right. The best kind of right.
The thing is, using rare candies to level up a Pokemon, even back then, did not prevent you from gaining EVs. It's not like
eventually, once you gain max EVs, which I think you can do before the Pokemon hits level 50, you save yourself an awful lot of time by just leveling them up the normal way.
Yeah.
Not the normal way, by leveling them up with EVs, I should say.
But EVs worked differently back then, didn't they?
No, I think they worked basically the same.
Congratulations, Kamado. We kicked your ass.
Yeah.
That was very underwhelming.
That was the curb stomp.
Yep.
That was the curb stomp that we all expected. And the one you deserved.
I'm better than you.
So, have we proven our worth?
Yes.
Hopefully. Oh. Going full bow apology, aren't you? Okay. Well, while you were away, your second in command already reinstated me, so it's water under the bridge.
In fact, I think they're still in charge. You better go do something about that.
All right. Now that is a final boss arena if ever I saw one.
Yeah, it's because it's the same final boss arena from Diamond and Pearl. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Although I guess they put in new statues.
Well, in the roof.
In the roof that you couldn't see.
Well, the roof gets blown off, so
Oh.
I try to at least show off the statues and stuff because they get blown
They
away
are.
eventually.
That's a nice statue.
Okay, so this story ties directly into Diamond and Pearl.
It's a
Yes.
prequel.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a Pokeball at his face.
Oh, no. Oh, that's creepy.
We got 10 Ultra Balls. That's not going to be nearly enough. It's a legendary battle. They take at least 50.
I get 70 just in case.
Well, I use up about 20 of those slots at random cheeky balls just to see if I happen to catch it.
Okay, so what are we fighting?
Palkia? Dialga? Yeah.
We're fighting Dialga because I chose Animan to come with me.
Oh.
If
You
chose
can still
Irida,
get
you
the other
Palkia.
one. You actually
Yeah.
need to be able to get the other one in order to...
Complete the game, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a multiple versions trading fest. This is a single player adventure.
Nope,
Which
you
I
can
gotta
do-
tell
can-
you was really, really nice.
Yeah, more of that, please, Game Freak. You don't need to make multiple versions anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd be fine if this is just a Legends thing. The multiple versions thing is kind of iconic.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, just because you've been doing something for forever doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, but you know.
Hi, Boss Rush and Mega Man.
Well, just because a bunch of people complain about it doesn't mean their complaints are correct either. Otherwise, turn-based RPGs would be awful.
Don't you know, Lewis? They are awful. Every game should be an action RPG. Every single one.
Fucking. You know, people have been having this argument about Final Fantasy 16, and it's like, you know, every time someone voices their discontent, the Final Fantasy 16 defenders will be like, "Oh, you just can't stand things changing," and it's just like, no.
If you can't stand things changing, why are you playing fucking Final Fantasy? Is my question. Because like,
Final Fantasy had no trouble reinventing the wheel with every game before it moved away from turn-based RPGs. Okay, it is absolutely the worst series in the world for people who can't stand change. But like, you know, I'd at least like it if it remained in the same genre.
Final
You
Fantasy
know.
7. This isn't Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 8. This isn't Final Fantasy. Final
Okay,
Fantasy
wait.
9.
You know,
Okay,
what?
this
I
one
will,
is Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 10. This isn't Final Fantasy.
I will stop you on Final Fantasy 8 because as much as I love that game for my own nostalgia reasons, it is, for the most part, just kind of like a really busted ass game on a fundamental level. So, you know, there are plenty of reasons not to like it. You look at it funny and you've over-leveled yourself to the worst degree and are set to steamroller the rest of the game. Except Omega Weapon. Fuck Omega Weapon. But you know, that's why Selphie can cast the end with a disc tray trick.
I hate this part of the game because the game's like, oh, not even you can handle a second legendary in a row. I was fine.
That took me like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I took like one hit.
That's
I'm
kind of
fine.
just one of the things about Pokemon, though, is that the only way that a wild Pokemon fight actually, like, works in this manner is if it's like the... Oh, what the fuck is its name? The thing from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That...
The Ultra Beast.
Yeah, no, but like the final boss in the Ultra Beast world that has like a million different has a million HP and you basically are
Oh, Necrozma.
Necrozma, yeah, that's its name. Thank you. Like, that's really the only way you can have a Pokemon be a Pokemon, one single Pokemon fight in a traditional Pokemon. It just has to have stats that are impossible to reach with normal Pokemon.
Plot twist. Kamado is an Osaka boy. Great.
Should we start calling him Osaka then?
I mean, I don't know. It's just like, that's the kind of speech pattern shift that makes absolutely no fucking sense unless you live in Japan or know a lot about Japan. Or have read, like, every issue of Detective Conan. That would probably get you there. I'm pretty sure that shit comes up more than once.
All is forgiven.
Oh yeah, I forgot that the person that you choose, you get the opposite final boss fight.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, considering they're not that hard to begin with anyway. So
I think there's like a slight, like, I guess the type difference if your team's slightly more equipped for one type versus another.
sure,
You know?
but if you're that ill-equipped to handle one of these legendaries, you're probably ill-equipped to handle the other one anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
To be fair, there are probably a fair number of players who did not approach this in the thorough completionist way, and actually weren't obnoxiously overleveled by the time they got to this point.
Because so this is something that I have to remind myself all the time. My nephew turned 3 recently, so I've started showing him some video games, and he's had a lot of trouble because he hasn't been playing video games all his life. You know, shock and awe. That's a thing that happens. With that said, you know, kids who are playing this for the first time are definitely going to be having a good amount of trouble with some of these things. That's just kind of...
Well, I was more referring to just, you know, not everyone has that playstyle where we meticulously comb every area for everything that we can get before moving on. You know, some of us actually do just follow the main plot to the end and then go back for stuff.
That's weird.
Like, not everyone needs to get all 120 power stars before confronting Bowser. It's just not a thing that everyone does.
In Super Mario Galaxy, you cannot get all 120 stars before you fight Bowser, because Bowser, you can unlock the purple coin stars after.
I was
Bowser.
thinking more about Mario 64, but yeah, you're right, technically. Okay, what?
He's being a dick, as usual.
Okay, what is this guy even here for?
Comic relief, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Like Jar Jar Binks was comic relief.
Yeah, because this is funny, I guess.
Wait, is this guy a Sith Lord too? Is this like Darth Jar Jar's apprentice or something?
Sure.
It is actually kind of funny how much credibility you can squeeze out of the Darth Jar Jar theory if you actually like dive down the rabbit hole.
Until you actually watch episode 8 and they kill Snoke, unceremoniously.
Well, the theory, as far as I know, is that Jar Jar was originally intended to have more of a significance in the prequel trilogy as a secret villain, but they walked that back because everyone hated Jar Jar Binks. But like, he was supposed to be like the anti-Yoda or something. So his tomfoolery in episode 1 was somewhat akin to Yoda's weird, like, mischievous goblin act in Empire Strikes Back when he first appeared. Except that was way less annoying, because it lasted like 15 seconds before the big reveal. Not a whole goddamn movie. But yeah, there's stuff like him waving his hand at odd times, and like jumping way too high when he dives into the water at the beginning.
I always thought that was just them trying to show off their CG, but you know.
Or saying like weirdly leading things at key moments. The theory being that he was like leading things on, like he was Darth Sidious's, like his man on the ground, trying to make sure everything went the way it was supposed to.
All according to Keikaku.
Yeah, but it never wound up happening, so it's just kind of like. But then there's that episode of Clone Wars that focuses on Jar Jar that kind of leans into it, where he does this distraction act on a table, and clumsy comic relief Jar Jar manages this feat of nat 20 acrobatics where he does a juggling act with plates and cups and manages to toss them into an extremely neat stack that would almost definitely require force powers to actually work. So you never know, maybe Darth Jar Jar really is a thing. And he's just like the smartest villain in the history of villains because he never revealed himself. It's just like, you know what? Emperor Palpatine fucked up. I'm just going to go retire. Be a family man.
So yeah, these stupid bandits get in the way again for no reason, even though they're pushovers.
I feel like they just kind of drag out this part of the game.
They do.
A lot.
Wait, why are these bandits getting in our way?
Because they're dicks.
No, I mean, like, why are they getting in our way at this exact moment?
Because there's something we want, and therefore they want it.
So they're Team Rocket.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Look, we're trying to save the world here. Like, literally save the world. You see the sky? It's all dark. There's a giant monster Pokemon up in that temple that we need to kill.
So, Lewis, you remember in Catherine where there's the sheep guy who sells you shit, and he literally dies before giving up all of his money, even though he's in a desperate situation? That's like this, and it's something that would actually happen in real life, sadly.
I forgot about that guy.
I forgot about that guy too until this exact second.
It's been a hot minute since I last played Catherine. I never did get to the end of Full Body. I don't know. It felt like adding the third character just unbalanced the story, and it didn't seem quite as interesting a concept anymore.
Seriously,
Also,
they're not any they're weaker than Kamado was, and we beat him no problem. So why are they here?
a breather between boss fights, I guess.
Eh.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
we send out our lowest level Pokemon, and we still wipe the floor with them.
well, yeah, but that's because you're massively overleveled because you do everything meticulous.
I mean, yeah, but even still, they're weaker than the last boss fight was. And since you're mostly teleporting from place to place in this final spot, so it's not like you have a lot of chances to like get more XP.
Yeah, that's
At
why
this
they're
point in the game.
here. That's why they're here. To get more XP.
I'd say but the thing is, you get experience points. You don't have to fight. You can catch Pokemon and do quests and stuff like that. It all gives you experience points. So there just really isn't much of a point to these being here. I guess they wanted to like wrap up this plot point, but it's not really much
I don't
of
think
one.
anyone. Yes, I don't think anyone cared about these three.
It would make a lot more sense if those characters had been like well fleshed out and like you were really interested in seeing where their story goes. And they have like an 11th hour encounter right before the final boss, kind of like the Turks in Final Fantasy VII. But yeah.
So we got to go back to the village to talk about what's going on, even though we could just do the thing there.
Well, I mean, this is a gameplay thing, but like, yeah, the player with the player's Pokemon could utterly face roll the entire game without stopping. Just march on like a smiling Terminator. But in universe, the implication is that they do kind of need to, take a break every now and then.
It's more just it's a killer to the pacing. Is the problem.
I don't
it feels
think so.
like they this doesn't add much. Like, we already did this big quest thing to get the MacGuffin thing we need to fight the final boss.
And now we need to do it again.
And then we have to do another. We have to do another MacGuffin fetch quest to get a thing to fight the next final boss. So it's just a wee bit repetitive, is the problem.
If only we had known there were 2 legendary Pokemon up there instead of just 1.
Yeah, I know. This whole like one version thing. It's weird. It's throwing everything up for a loop.
The Origin Ball? What?
Yeah, it's a special Pokeball. You need to catch the final boss.
Oh. It's
kind of stupid.
What the hell is that? So this is D100. Man, all these years we've been putzing around with 2D10s. When we really just needed to construct an actual 100-sided die.
Have you seen an actual 100-sided die? I hate it. It's like this big golf ball ass looking thing. And like it never stops in one specific spot. So it's always really hard to tell like where it landed, because it's also really hard to tell which one's the exact top one. So yeah, it's just do 2D10s. It's way better.
Oh God, I just realized the woman I compared to the Velvet Room, her name is Cogita or Cogita.
It's supposed to be Latin, so Cogita.
Yeah, that's a perfect name for a Velvet Room attendant. Okay, so
go back to the area you were just at and do the same thing you just did.
Yes. Repetition.
That's 15 minutes I'll never get back.
Repetition is the spice of life. I'm pretty sure that's how that saying goes.
No, it's not.
It is the essence of life, though. Am I right, folks?